Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of the National Qualifications 2024 Mathematics Paper 2 May Calculator paper for Scotland. Let's jump straight into it. Question number 1. Dougie pays £460 for a new laptop. It is expected that the value of the laptop will depreciate by 26% each year. Calculate the expected value of Dougie's laptop after 3 years. So in order to depreciate by 26%, what we need to do is multiply by 1 minus 26%. So in this case, what I'm going to say is £460 multiplied by 1 minus 0.26, which is the same as saying 460 multiplied by 0.74. And since we're doing it over 3 years, we can just say this is 460 times 0.74 cubed. And it's a calculator paper, so I can do this straight on my calculator. And I get £186.40. And bear in mind, when you're coming to decimal places and things, that we are using currency for that question, so you can't have any more than 2 decimal places. Question 2. An ant colony occupies an area of 250 hectares. There is an average of 1.22 times 10 to the 6 ants per hectare. Calculate the number of ants in the colony. Give your answer in scientific notation. All we have to do here is 1.22 times 10 to the 6 ants per hectare multiplied by the number of hectares. Do this on my calculator again. Times 10 to the power 6. And I get 305 and then 6 zeros. Now, the question wants it in scientific notation, so we just need to put this into standard form. We want the decimal place to be here. It is currently at the back here, so let's move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So 3.05 times 10 to the 8 is your answer. Question number 3. In triangle ABC, AB equals 25 meters, AC equals 18 meters, and BC equals 34 meters. Calculate the size of the shaded angle at A. What we're going to do to solve this is going to be the cosine rule. So let me just go back to the top on our formula sheet. Cosine rule, third one down, we have A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A, or cos A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. So we want the second one because we're looking to find the angle. So we'll go back down and we will say cos A equals 18 squared plus 25 squared minus 34 squared all over 2 times 18 times 25. And again, on my calculator, I'll do this. So the denominator I'll do first is 2 times 18 times 25. So that's going to be over 900. And the top, 18 squared plus 25 squared minus 34 squared is going to be minus 207. So we have minus 207 over 900, which is also minus 23 over 100, or just minus 0.23. So cos A equals minus 0.23, therefore A is going to be cos minus 1 of minus 0.23. Again, I'll do this on my calculator, and I get 103.297, and I'm just going to put this as 103, as the question doesn't use any decimal places for any of their numbers here. And it's also not asked for it in the question how many decimal places they want. Question number 4. Solve algebraically the inequality or the inequation 5 lots of x minus 2 plus 4 is less than 7x plus 8. We'll expand the left-hand side. 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is less than 7x plus 8. Then we want to put all the x's on one side and all the numbers on one side. So minus 10 plus 4 is minus 6. We need to move the 8 onto the other side, so we're going to subtract that away, and we get minus 14 over here. And then on this side we have 7x, and we have a 5 which we need to take off, so that becomes 2x. divide both sides by 2, we get x is greater than minus 7. And that's fine for our answer. Question number 5. This year, the cost of Charlie's car insurance is £278.40. This is an increase of 16% on last year's cost. Calculate the cost of Charlie's insurance last year. So let's call it A, the insurance last year. We know it has been increased by 16%, so A times 1.16, which is just 1 plus your 16%, equals 278.4. Therefore, we can say A is just 278.4 divided by 1.16. Remember, 2 decimal places on my calculator. You don't even need to worry about that because it's just a round number. £240 is your answer. Question 6. Part A. Factorise y squared minus 6y. So the only thing that's in both of those two terms is a y term. So we're going to take the y out of the bracket, and we have y minus 6 inside the bracket, and that's simply it factorised for 1 mark. And part B, hence simplify y squared minus 6y over y squared minus 3y minus 18. So the top is just going to be your y lots of y minus 6. They wouldn't make you do that unless it had some sort of relevance here. So that's your numerator. Your denominator, y squared minus 3y minus 18, we can see that this can be written as y minus 6 lots of y plus 3, as we wanted two numbers here that multiply together to give you minus 18 and add together to give you minus 3, which is why we have minus 6 and a positive 3. Therefore, we can say this is y lots of y minus 6 over y minus 6 lots of y plus 3. Cancel out the y minus 6's, and you just get y over y plus 3. Question 7. A paperweight is in the shape of a cuboid. It consists of a hemisphere of red glass surrounded by clear glass. The cuboid has height 4 centimeters and a square base of 7 centimeters. The hemisphere has diameter 6 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the clear glass in the paperweight. Give your answer correct to 2 significant figures. So we basically want the volume of the cuboid minus the volume of the hemisphere. Volume of the cuboid is simply going to be 7 times 7 times 4, which I'll just do on my calculator now. 49 times 4 is 196. So now the volume of the hemisphere is simply going to be 4/3 pi r cubed, and the radius is going to be 3, as the circumference, as the diameter, is going to be 6. So that would be the volume of a full sphere. We have half a sphere, so we're going to divide it by 2. So 3 cubed is just 27. So this is going to be 4/3 pi times 27 over 2. Do that on my calculator. 4/3 times 27 over 2 times pi, it's just 18 pi, which is 56.55. Therefore, our answer is going to be 196 minus 56.55. 196 minus that, we get 139.45. However, they want us to give our answer to 2 significant figures. So remember to read the full question. The answer is 140 centimeters cubed. Question number 8. Solve the equation 3x squared plus 8x plus 1 equals 0. Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. We're going to use the quadratic formula here. So minus b is minus 8 plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is just going to be minus 8 plus minus the square root of, this is 64, this is 12, so the square root of 52 over 6. And they want the answers correct to 2 decimal places, so I'm going to do minus 8 plus root 52 divided by 6 is going to give us minus 0.13 And minus 8 minus the square root of 52 divided by 6 is minus 2.54. And that's our answers. Question 9. Change the subject of the formula f equals 2d plus 3 over e to d. All we need to do here is multiply both sides by e, so we get ef equals 2d plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides, ef minus 3 equals 2d. Divide both sides by 2. d equals ef minus 3 over 2. Question 10. Karen buys a door number sign for her house. The sign consists of parts of two identical circles. AB is a chord to both circles. AB has length 15 centimeters. The radius AC has length 10 centimeters. Calculate the width of the sign. So we know that this length here is the radius. So we know that's 10. These two circles are identical. So what I'm going to do is draw another midpoint over here, which we'll just call C dash. And we know that this is going to be 10 as well, as our identical circles. What we need to find out is the distance between C dash in the middle and C in the middle. So in order to find this, we are drawing a right angled triangle here. So let me just reproduce that here. So the side length we want, we'll call it X. Oops, horrible writing. Right angle, 10 centimeters, and we know it's halfway up the chord AB, which means that's 7.5 as that's halfway up 15. So we can work out x by saying 10 squared minus 7.5 squared equals x squared. Use a bit of Pythagoras there. So 100 minus 7.5 squared gives us 43.75, and then I will square root that to give me 6.61. As I said, all I need to do is x plus 10 plus 10 to get the full length from one side to the other, or the width of the sign. So we get 13.2 plus 20, 33.2 centimeters. Quite an interesting question, that one. Question 11. Solve the equation 17 sine x plus 1 equals 9. Let's take the 1 onto the other side straight away. To get 17 sine x equals 8. Divide both sides by 17, you get sine x equals 8 over 17. I'll do on my calculator sine minus 1 of 8 over 17, and I get 28.07. Just be careful. They want for x between 0 and 360 degrees. So there's a second value of x here, and if you know the sine graph, you know the second solution is going to be 180 minus x, minus 28.07, and that is going to give us 151.93, and that is our two solutions. Question 12. 2 over x plus 5 plus 3 over x minus 4. Express it as a single fraction in its simplest form. So what I'm going to do here is multiply the left term by x minus 4 over x minus 4, and the right term by x plus 5 and x over x plus 5, so that we have matching denominators in both. So let's say 2 lots of x minus 4 over x plus 5, x minus 4, plus 3 lots of x plus 5 over x plus 5, x minus 4. So this is equivalent to the question. So I can now put these together and say, might as well expand the brackets at the same time. So 2x minus 8 plus 3x plus 15 over x plus 5, x minus 4. That gives us 5x plus 7 over x plus 5, x minus 4, and this is a single fraction in its simplest form, as the question has asked. Question 13. In triangle ABC, AC equals 22 centimetres, BAC equals 40, BCA equals 30, BD is perpendicular to AC. Calculate the length of BD. Okay, so to get BD, we are going to need this side length here, BC, and then we can use that to find BD. But in order to get that side length, I'm first going to state that this angle here must be 110 degrees, as your angles in the triangle must add up to 180. We already got 30 here, we've already got 40 here, so there's 110 left over. So then, in order to find BC, we're going to use the sine rule. So we're going to say BC over sine of 40 equals 22 over sine of 110. So it's just the angle that it's opposite into the sine rule. Rearrange it to get BC equals 22 sine 40 over sine 110. I'll do that on my calculator. 22 sine 40 divided by sine 110, 15.05. Then what we can say, 15.05, now that we are looking at a right-angled triangle, we can say that sine 30 is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. We're looking for opposite, which is BD. Hypotenuse is 15.05. Therefore, BD equals 15.05 sine 30. And if you know sine 30 is a half, I'll do it anyway on my calculator to be sure. So 15.05 times sine 30 should just be half of 15.05. It is indeed 7.525, so 7.53 centimetres. And in fact, I'm just going to write this as 7.5 centimetres, as the other numbers in the question are given to two significant figures as well. Question 14. The diagram shows a rhombus WXYZ with a diagonal ZX drawn. ZW represents vector A and ZX represents vector B. Express WX in terms of A and B. We need to get to from W to X. We need to go along A backwards and then along B. So minus A plus B. M is the midpoint of XY. Express WM in terms of A and B. Give your answer in its simplest form. So we want to go from WM, so we need to go again down A backwards and then across B again the same way. Now XY is also the same vector, which is A but reversed, but we only want to go halfway up it. So we're going to say minus A plus B minus a half A, which we can write as B minus 3 over 2A, as that would be its simplest form. Question 15. The diagram shows a sector of a circle, centre C. Radius is 12. The length of arc AB is 15. Calculate the area of this sector. So the circumference of the full circle would be pi d. So the diameter will be double the radius. The radius is 12, so 24 pi. Therefore, the sector is 15 out of 24 pi of the full circle. So 15 divided by 24 pi gives me 0.199, basically out of 1, if 1 is the full circle. So the area of the sector is going to be pi times r squared, 12 squared, multiplied by the amount of the circle that we have, the 0.199. Therefore, I'll multiply that by pi, and I will multiply that by 12 squared, which is 144, and I get 90 centimetres squared for the area of the sector. And the final question, express 3 cos squared x minus 1 in the form a plus b sine squared x. Show you're working. So cos squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. Therefore, cos squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x. Therefore, this is 3 lots of 1 minus sine squared x minus 1, 3 minus 3 sine squared x minus 1, or 2 minus 3 sine squared x. And that is your final answer in the form a plus b sine squared x. So that's us done. Hopefully that was helpful. Drop a like and a follow if it was helpful for you. I'm going to continue to do some of these Scottish papers. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.